Hello, it is Monday the 1st of June and welcome to the first episode of Red Coin, the Nintendo podcast. We have undergone a bit of a name change and it's because we are very excited. We've got a new website live and it's going to have a whole bunch of things on it. So I'm here with Aaron. How are you doing, Aaron?
I am great, Adam. How are you?
I'm great. Had a great trip from Canada last week as well, so it's been a bit of time since we've come back and met, but I'm looking forward to
everyone's got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
we're all catching up.
Big game that's come out, Splatoon, so looking forward to disseminating that. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, Adam. I've been, safe to say, I'm addicted to Splatoon.
Already?
Yeah, already. And it's been
already
out for
throwing
about
down the gauntlet.
Chris has been very busy between Splatoon and also working hard on our new website and stuff like that.
New website. So it's a new opinion-based website. We're going to be doing a lot of game reviews. We've got a few indie reviews up at the moment, opinion pieces, articles. It's generally a good time.
And where? What is the website for the people?
So it's www.redcoin.net.au.
Yeah, great. And so if you want to go on the website, that way you can see all the stuff that we have to offer, subscribe to the podcast, everything like that. Cameron, how are you doing?
I've been really good. So Splatoon aside, which again, safe to say I'm addicted as well. I think I've played probably like 27 hours in the last 48.
Wow.
Besides that though, I finally did what I set out to do on Mario Kart. I 3-starred every 200cc car.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's great.
So finally done. The only thing I have left to do is get 10,000 coins for the gold glider, and then I can step away from Mario Kart until any more...
until your data gets corrupted.
Yeah, basically, until I lose it all again. But no, Splatoon's going really good. I managed to get to level 16. I've got a couple of 3-star gear, and I passed single-player mode. I started doing the Amiibo Challenges today.
How are you finding those, Cameron?
The Amiibo Challenges specifically, they're a lot harder than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Not what I thought. I thought they'd be their own individual missions, but they're just revamps on the single-player mode, which are cool as well, and it gives you something to sort of strive for in doing the levels over and over with different stuff. But I had imagined them being completely separate levels
Missions,
all by themselves.
But do you feel it's essential to the Splatoon experience? Like, do you think if someone's buying this game, they should buy the Amiibos?
I definitely think owning the Amiibos is a bonus.
Right.
It doesn't take away from the game itself. Like, if you don't have the Amiibos, it's still worth getting the game. They're not going to make or break the game.
Right.
That being said, they add in a whole bunch of extra content, which is the only downside, really, I have with Splatoon. The only big downside.
I didn't get the Amiibos. Chris, Adam, did you guys get them? Or?
Well, you know me, I'm not one to pass up a good Amiibo set. And so, as soon as I found out at the Direct that these Amiibos were holding sort of content in the game, I made the decision to get them. So I did get them. Today, actually, I went down to EB on a public holiday and got them. So, I got them. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I've got them. I'm holding them right now, actually. So, really, the only one I wanted was the squid.
Right.
But, it only comes in the 3-pack, so you have to get the 3-pack.
Well, just economically it made sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. And as Cam said, like this game is lacking a bit on the content side. Having that extra bit of stuff to do is really helpful.
And they're incredible Amiibos. The detail
the quality of them is fantastic.
Really,
is this the tipping point for you, Chris? Is this where you go off the
Well, I
deep end
think
and
I'm
start
officially
buying
a
them
collector
all?
now because I've got 4. So I've got my Link one, and now I've got these 3. And now I've got my...
you think you're a collector with
No,
I say with my 20.
And I've got the Yoshi one pre-ordered as well, the yarn one.
The yarn one. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
So
I need to get.
Have you guys seen the castle they've released? There's a bit of a stand, the Mario castle.
yeah.
It's like the
Put all the different
steps to
the
the
steps to the
flag,
castle and the
Well,
flag.
like the Skylanders, I know they brought out like a carry case with all different sections for each Amiibo, Skylanders figurines. And they brought out a new one for the Giants ones and for the Swap Force ones. So
there are already carry cases for the Amiibos, but this is more of a display as well. So it's interesting to see that
cool.
they
It just shows off their collectability. I mean, even though they do have in-game uses, they are at the end of the day a physical collector's item that I think people are really sticking to. Like I know people who have every single one released so far.
Yeah.
And half of them don't have any other use other than being used in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It seems like, exactly. And it also seems like, I don't know, it's with our territory here that it's maybe less of a struggle to get them.
Yeah, I think
but
so too.
I've been hearing stories from just American friends of mine on social media saying that it's really hectic trying to get them, trying to order them, and they limit them to 1 per customer. and it's like people are lining
Some
up
people
at
don't
like
do pre-orders
8 in the
as well.
morning.
Yeah.
They don't do pre-orders. So it just makes the whole process a lot more complicated. Whereas for me, it was as simple as waltzing into EV
Yeah.
a whole 48 days after they had been released, because I'd just come back, and buying them because it
Yeah.
had been set aside for me. So
One of the few
So in
perks
Australia,
of living
we're
in
pretty
Australia.
lucky with
Yeah.
the Amiibos, aren't we?
Yeah.
We
I think it just comes down to the small population, really. If we have the lowest distribution, but the highest pickup.
You'd
of
think
it.
that would scale though, right? But
Yeah.
it just
Well,
doesn't.
apparently not.
So we're all happy with the Amiibos.
Yeah.
The game itself. How much have we all played? How are we all feeling about it? What do you think, Adam?
Well, so today I just started it, and I got a good 3 hours in, I would say, and I've reached level 6 in the game. And I can honestly say, I'm having a lot of fun with it, like I was with the test fire. It's very similar to the test fire. There's a new map that wasn't included in the test fire that I really enjoy as well. Which name is escaping me at the moment, but it's really good. I really enjoy how there's the 4 classes of weapons, but each of the weapons has such variation that there doesn't seem to be one particular way to go. I'm still gravitating towards the roller, but I know that might change. I don't foresee it changing anytime soon though. I've just been really enjoying it. I've been playing with friends every time, though, as well. And what I like about the matchmaking with friends is that it seems to, if I'm waiting to join a friend, I seem to join my friend in that next match straight away. So it seems to somehow maybe kick out
Boot someone else, yeah.
boot someone else that isn't your friend from the match and put you into the match.
The
which
way
I
I've seen
think
it
is
working,
really
because
good.
like I said, me and Chris, I think we've played more hours than you guys so far.
Yeah.
And majority of that has been together.
Yes.
There were some instances where I tried to join Chris's game and I had to wait 2 games.
Okay.
I think that it's just there's so many people playing and so many people dropping out constantly that it is just chance. And there's always going to be one person leaving the game because there was, like I said, a couple of instances where I had to wait 2 or 3 rounds of 3 minutes while there was a spot in Chris's game.
But it's interesting that is so different from my experience with Mario Kart, where if it's a full game, it's very much difficult to ensure that you're going to get in on a next race, and you kind of have to have your friend pull out and then you join a different thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's had anything to do with. You physically have to leave the game to change your weapon.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a lot of people
that's
leaving,
definitely-
changes their weapon, and then they lose their spot in the queue. In Mario Kart, you can just keep going, right? So
Yeah, that could be
that
a
might be a
main
good point.
difference.
Play into it.
Or I do genuinely think it may have been that Nintendo was learning from their online experiences even a little bit, and is
It
putting
does
it in
seem
the
like
game.
it does seem like that.
On that subject, I've had a fantastic experience so far with the online. I have only experienced 4 dropouts in the whole time I've been playing, and like I said, I have played a lot.
Well, you're only level 16, so you have played a lot. Yeah, so yeah.
So like I said, 4 dropouts out of that's got to be at least 100 games. That's
at least.
4% dropout.
That's really good, yeah.
And the longest wait I've had is 30 seconds. And I think that was a server problem because there was no one loading in, and all of a sudden 8 people joined or 7 other people joined quickly. So yeah, it's been really, really reliable. One of our friends, one of the contributors for the new website as well, by the way, redcoin.net.au, he was having he said 90% dropouts. He just couldn't get into a game.
Right, okay.
So, and
But is that connection side? Do we think it's a connection issue?
I think it is. I think it's just the area that he resides in, maybe.
Yeah. Because it's funny because, like I have a choppy connection at best. That's according to my friends that play me online. And I had a few dropouts, but nothing that was game-breakingly frustrating or that made me want to play something else. So it's interesting that. I guess the long tail of it will be the real test is to see, can I get a game in a month or can I get a game regularly in 2 months or 3 months? And,
Good point.
What kind of setups and stuff are you using, Cam?
I guess we'll start off with characters. I'm using an Aryan, basically. It's a white male with blue eyes. You start off selecting, just like you did in the test fire, you choose your gender, your skin tone and your eye color, and that's pretty much it. And then you start off with a splatter shot and a splatter shot junior. And you have a choice of either of those. Basically, as soon as I unlocked roller, I started using roller. I've probably used 99% roller. I did find this really cool gun eventually. Like I said, I'm level 16. You unlock a gun at every level, and then you also unlock a bonus weapon if you collect all the scrolls in all the levels of single player, which I've done. So I passed single player 100%, which has allowed me to unlock all these.
And how long did that take you, just in terms of like content?
Probably all up to 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay. I didn't do it all in one sitting. I kept going between online and that, and not playing Splatoon. Although I did spend most of my time playing Splatoon. So it's decent amount. Like if you're not going to sit there and hammer it out just to pass it, then you're going to have enough time playing it. I also went out of my way to find all the scrolls in each level, so that extended it out a bit. Majority of them aren't too hidden. Like, it's not like you're going to grind out an hour finding it, but it does add a little extra into it, and you do get some cool sort of side stuff for it. Anyway, so the weapon I got from that it's called the Aerospray MG, I think.
I've seen this one online.
Really
it's like
quick.
A paint. It's like a paint.
It's a spray gun. / paintball gun.
Cool.
So it's got a really high rate of fire. It's got lower damage and lower distance.
Right.
So it's not really made for fighting.
No.
But it's really good for coverage. It's basically the way I play is I'm all about coverage. I'm really good at the roll. I'm really good at that spray gun. I'm not good at charges.
I think people are working out very quickly that the game is about coverage and not about killing people.
Yes. That's a good point, Aaron, because I thought that having a really good team revolves around a few different things. So like you have like 2 out of the 4 people working on turf. Then you maybe another person working on just kills or something.
Right.
And you do dominate with that sort of strategy, which is interesting.
But then, do you think that a team of 4 of the roller, which is something which I started to see in the test fire demo and in my experience today as well, has more of a shot as someone who
I have heard a lot of
guns?
people say that they think the roller is probably the most OP out of the 3.
4. Are there 4?
It's Charger, Blaster, and Roller. But you also have there's
so many
there's a lot of different guns. So the 3 major classes, are Roller, Charger, and Blaster.
And I think the roller is probably the best for coverage, at least.
I agree.
And then from there, it's kind of like a paper scissors rock thing, isn't it?
They all have their
sounds cliched, but it really is.
But look, the Roller definitely during the test fire. By the end of the hour, it was like you were having 3 out of 4 being roller. In this, at first, you were getting 2 out of 3, 2 to 3 out of 4 were being rollers.
That's what I can see.
In my games now, me and Chris played for about 2 hours. We had a good 3-4 games in a row where not a single roller was used.
Wow.
I versed a
getting
team
really good.
I versed a team where there was 4 rollers, and they
not,
put up a good fight, but it just didn't hold up.
So I have one on a team of 4 rollers, and it does come down to who can actually play.
Sure.
Which is another good point about the online, the fact that it is randomly matched each time.
Right.
So I've had games where, me and Chris were playing. Like I said, I'm going to keep going back to me and Chris because we played so much.
Of course.
We played a game where we won 82% to 16%.
Yeah, I've had a game like that
players
today myself.
who are really good in the
domination.
Team, and the team just works. We've also had games where we've lost by that much. Because the other 2 people we happen to be with aren't as good as us.
It's a good point you raise, Cam, because something that I've noticed is that most of the games, I'd say about 80% of the games that you play are very, very even. Like to the point where it gets to the end and you genuinely don't know if you've won or lost. And that's like a real theatre to it. It's
I've been finding that a lot too.
Or even a game is won or lost in like the last 30 seconds. And you think you're winning and it's
well, the smallest margin I've won by is 0.4%.
Wow.
So it's been intense. But no, online is really even, and I think that comes down to the fact that it is random and there is a good mix of weapons. I disagree by saying the roller is overpowered because even though it allows you to put more paint out, you're very limited on your wall shots, and it's very hard to kill someone with a swipe attack. You can roll over people, but they can pick you off from a distance before you even get to them. You have to be on top of them essentially to kill them with the roller. And that's why I think it's not overpowered because it has so many weaknesses.
So we're noticing a lot of balance.
Yeah,
it is balanced.
It's a very, very well balanced game, and I think that's what makes its online
because it's so fun. It's not like on Call of Duty or something where someone's just sniping you and like no scoping you all day. You can't even get to them with your like little machine gun or something because they're picking you off from so far away, and it's so one-sided. And the fact that they have upgraded their weapon and they've got quick draw handles and stuff like that. Where with this, each weapon has advantages and disadvantages, but you know that one gun isn't going to be overpowered because it's all very well balanced.
It's funny you should say balance because I was noticing in my matches as a level 2 or a level 3 character that I was still in the top 2-3 of the 8, despite people having higher levels than me being at level 16 or 17.
It is very heavily about the skill, isn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
certainly.
And the thing is, once you play single player and you do enough of that, it's a really good at training you for the online matches because you learn certain skills and how to move your movement.
My understanding is that the leveling in single player is different from the leveling in multiplayer, though. Is that correct?
So in single player, you collect orange orbs of experience, which you use to upgrade your gun. In single player,
basically the currency.
Yeah, it's your currency. In single player, you only have a splatter gun.
Yep.
And that's all you go through the whole level with. You can upgrade its capacity. You can upgrade its firing rate. You can also upgrade the 3 types of grenades. So you have a sort of time delay bomb, a standard just splash on contact bomb, and a chaser thing. It looks like a little little mouse thing that homes in on wherever you aim at.
Right.
And you can upgrade their blast radius, but that's all you have throughout them. But it's really good because it teaches you how to strafe. It teaches you how to quick swap between squid and not squid. Do long jumps and set up traps. You can distract.
It's teaching you, but through its design, rather than
instead of a boring tutorial.
Instead of an actual tutorial, like there's no tutorial. You go straight into the first level, and it's real enemies.
Which I think everybody prefers. Everyone hates tutorials, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to design a game that way.
The single player is actually really fun. I didn't expect it to be as in depth as it was, and even though I kind of went through it pretty easily, I think it just comes down to the fact that I'm decent at this game, so I didn't die too often. That being said, the final boss is such a hard fight. Yeah. It's a really, really cool fight, and I won't give anything away, but I was very impressed with its length. And it rewards you, it offers you stuff as you go through it, so it's not like, I have to go and finish single player now. Yeah. It gives you real incentive to actually play through the game.
And I think you'll find that your real challenge will come if you buy the amiibos. That's the real challenging levels. So where they limit your ability to use. So the girl amiibo changes out your weapon in single player from the blaster to the charger. So it's just like completely changes the level.
The charger is.
And then what does the squid amiibo do, Chris?
So the squid gives you time attack.
Yep.
So you have to do the level in like under 4 minutes or something.
Right.
With the Kraken ability. That's really fun.
And also limited ink.
Oh yeah, some
which
of
are
the
the worst levels I've ever done.
It's so hard. And then the boy, you have to do the levels with the roller. So yeah, it's really cool.
What kind of setup are you using, Chris? Like preference on guns, abilities?
Yeah, so I chose the girl. Only reason is because this guy has a top knot.
I remember you saying before you were really going to get into styling up your amiibo. Stuff.
I'm really going the fashion over function side of the thing. Yeah, but no, it's really, really fun. I'm loving all the customization and.
What kind of costume have you wound up with so far?
I think I'm wearing a snapback.
Cool.
And like a baseball tee and some cons or something, like hard top, low tops or something like that. So awesome. I've been changing it every now and then though.
And guns, abilities?
I think I'm using a Splattershot Junior, like a custom one. You get it from single player.
Yep.
And it's basically using a blaster.
I forgot to actually say what I was using.
Using roller.
Use roller.
I mentioned the secondary abilities though, which is one of the cool things about it.
Yeah,
so the roller I'm using has the special ability Kraken, which is what we were talking about with the squid amiibo. Yep. We basically turn into a giant squid. And you're indestructible, so you can't be shot and you can't be rolled. And when you jump, you do a spin attack, and basically you can kill everyone except anyone in a bubble. Bubble and other krakens are the only things you can't kill. You can also travel over your opponent's ink without being slowed, and you can travel over a non-inked area, and it will actually leave a trail of your ink as well.
Yeah, it's pretty overpowered. It only lasts for about 4 seconds.
It's very short.
I was actually talking to a friend of mine before this who's also been playing with Adam, and he was saying he's been using the charger, and then when people get close to him, he's just been relying on his abilities for kind of defense.
Yeah, it's really smart what people do.
Yeah. So people come up with some cool different combos as well.
Yeah, there are some defensive abilities as well. Like I think the one you start out with is a shield of some sort as well. Which
Bubble, I think it is.
Yeah, bubble.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. I think it's a good one to start off with in the game because it gets you used to the idea of using abilities, and maybe it allows you to be a little bit more gung ho.
Yeah.
While you,
I think abilities are good to fill in the
yourself.
gaps between your weapons' weaknesses, aren't they?
Yeah. It is good, and even reminding. I forgot for so long that they were even there. So I've only just started getting used to using them, and
I barely
helps
ever
a lot.
use. I barely ever use bombs. The set I use has a beacon that you place, so it's more rarely used than the bombs. You just place it down and you can fast jump to that. You see a lot of people using bombs very well. And obviously there's so many different secondary weapons, which I was surprised at. I thought it was just going to be bombs and basically different types of bombs.
No, it's
but
heaps.
Kraken I didn't even know about until I got it and saw it in match for the first time. So it's really cool, and then that's not even going into the abilities you get from your...
There's a lot of ways to fill the gaps and make a character stronger in different ways, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more surprises coming down the track. I've personally been using the roller, just kind of playing around with that. I've just found it.
It's a good starter thing.
It's great, It's easy to use, gets you a lot of coverage.
It's fun to use.
Yeah, I think maybe down the track I might move on to playing around with the charger a bit, depending on what I can do with abilities and second weapons and stuff like that. But we'll see how we go.
As you unlock weapons, you get a whole bunch of combinations. Every level you unlock a new weapon, so you might get a charger this time, but you have an ink strike on it and a bomb. But then 3 levels down, you'll get another charger, but this time you'll get the Kraken and a standard bomb.
That's cool.
So that you can go through a lot of weapons and mix and match them. And money's not really a problem. If you're playing online, you're going to earn some money. Just today, I started off on pretty much 0 today, and I'm up to 53,000.
Wow.
And that's enough to buy pretty much all the weapons up to level 10.
Yep.
So it's not really a problem.
Are you guys liking all the stages?
Yeah, I love all the stages, man. I just wish there was more of them, you know. So that's probably one of the downsides to this is that we know that we're getting free DLC, you know, in the coming months or whatever. But it's just we got to a point where we were playing like 5 of the same map in a row, and you know it gets a bit stale after a while.
Do you guys think maybe in a month's time you'll still be playing it, or like you'll be okay with playing the same stages over and over, or do you think you might get tired of it in a month?
Hard to say. I mean,
we've all said we really like it now, but you know, will it stand the test of time is the big question, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well, it's about content.
Yeah.
And I want to see, you know, 20 maps in that one mode, but at least by a couple of months into it. Apparently, there's a big update in August.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good roadmap to it. And I do understand why they can't have all these maps at the start, but to me, it doesn't seem like those maps are that nuanced that it's that hard to make a map for.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't opened rated battles yet as well, and I think that'll definitely play a big part in how much we play. So I assume we're all going to be making the team together.
Yep.
So we want to be able to be good enough to play in rated battles. But that being said, there has to be a reason to play rated battles. It's not just going to be, we're the best. You unlock armor and you unlock new weapons and stuff. And I think the only way they can do that is by putting in more stuff to make people want to play it. Because even though in these 2 days I played every map like 20 times each already, you know, I get sick of the map when I play it over and over again. But once the 2 maps change, it's kind of a fresh start. So I think they have found a good time period for changing. I think all it needs now is just more choice of it.
So how often did the 2 maps change, Cameron?
I think it's 3 hours.
Right.
We haven't timed it officially, but because originally when we went into it, we thought it was going to be daily. So you played 2 tracks every day.
Yep.
And so we went into that and we were playing for a few hours and then nothing changed. I'm like, okay, it must be a day. But then like the next game, it takes you out of your lobby and puts the news that you log into every time.
Oh, cool,
with the 2, Callie and Mari or whatever it is. Yeah. And they say the 2 new tracks. So it's kind of cool. I get a bit of a Hunger Games vibe there.
Oh yeah, the announcement.
Yeah. It's very, may the odds be ever in your favour.
So we're all happy with the game. We have the stages, weapons. Everyone likes it now. We think it should stand the test of time. Anything else you guys wanted to add into it?
I think
I'm having a ball. I'm having an absolute ball. I had a nightmare last night about Splatoon, and you know when you start dreaming about video games, you go crazy.
What was the nightmare? Was it Kraken related?
No. Well, all it was is I was just doing really, really badly in one of my games,
Yeah.
to the point where I couldn't recover from it. And like I was putting paint down, it was just getting covered, and then I was just like, "What am I doing? Like, suck, you know?" So, and then it ended up being like 3% to 87%, and like a just complete whitewash. So, it was scary, dude.
I had
I bet.
I had a similar experience, but it was a bit more scary because it was in real life. I had played for probably 5 hours in a row, and I had to take my my lovely fiance and my sister out into Perth because they were going to a party there. And as I'm driving to go get them, I'm driving down the road and I have to turn left. And I'm going to turn left. I go, oh wait, no, I can't go down there. There's no paint on the floor, so I'll slow down. And I realize, wait a second.
It's bad when it's getting into your real life.
This is real life. I should pay attention more. It's just, I couldn't shake this feeling. It's just, even now, I close my eyes, all I can see is just a stream of paint coming out in front of me.
So we're all into it. We're all thinking about it pretty regularly. That's a good thing.
I'm just having
This is the most any of us got into a game in a while. Actually.
Yeah, I agree, Aaron.
I'm
I can't remember the last time I had this much fun playing a game, and it's new, it's fresh, and we're all discovering new things. You know, we've got questions about the game that we don't necessarily know. You know, so we can't just Google it.
And it's really important that Nintendo, you know, after 14 years, this is their first internally developed new IP game.
Is it?
That's my understanding.
When was Pikmin out?
That was 2000.
Wow, it was 2001.
Yeah.
It's been a long...
It's 14 years.
Wow.
So, internally developed. There might have
Crazy,
been sort of like, I don't know, like
No, I agree,
Rolling Western was like third party or whatever, but like still published by Nintendo. But yeah, this is the first in 14 years. So to see it come out and to see it be as well received as it has, is really good. I just hope the sales numbers reflect it, and I really hope that the audience is there for it in the future.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the sales. I'm more worried about the community. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a real thriving community behind this game, even if the sale numbers are low, that will still push Nintendo to make.
But they need good sales numbers.
They do.
But that's the thing. I want this just the same good Wii U sales.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think that's a problem though. When you go into your lobby, the amount of people there who have comments and pictures and stuff up on their thing, on their when you're in your Overworld Hub, you can walk around, you can see other players, and they have a little speech bubble if they've written a picture.
Is anyone else getting annoyed by those? I find them annoying.
There's some of them are great.
Really.
Some of them are great.
There's so many Zoidbergs and Squidwards and stuff.
I saw a couple of the.
I like it.
I
It's a nice
ignore
touch.
them really. I kind of side with Aaron on that one, but
I like them. I think they're pretty cool. But no, like anyway, the fact is that there's so many people doing it, and people like the drawings that you see on there. They're not 2 to 10 minute sketches. These are like an hour long, making sure every stroke is perfect. So I think it's the online community is definitely there already. It just comes down to whether or not people are going to be staying here and not getting bored of it in a couple of days.
That is the big question.
So, and I think honestly, I'm hooked on it. I'm not going to stop in the next couple of days. I can tell you that. Once I've gotten to level 20 and unlocked everything, then
is 20
when
the
I'm
cap?
gonna. 20 is the cap at this point.
So do we think that they might be increasing that anytime soon? Because it seems like
I feel like they're going to have
a
to.
logical thing to do.
Well, there's no way they set up 20 to be the maximum from the start.
Certainly not. I do think it's just a matter of time before we see that cap get raised.
So do you guys play with motion or dual stick?
Dual stick.
I think any real player is going to be doing that.
And I think a few people...
That's not quite
Oh,
fair.
I don't think that's fair.
I think there's some people that haven't quite worked out that you can't use motion yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely spoken to a few friends and they've said, oh, this is, a bit annoying. I'm like, well, you can actually change that.
Just turn it off, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I had kept my roller use pretty exclusive because I didn't know you could change it. But
yeah. No, you can
changing
change it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I will try changing it now. But, to me, the motion's just not precise enough. But that's just something I have to deal with Wii U controls in general.
A lot of resetting.
It's like I'm not using a Wii wheel in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
No.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, exactly. So,
what do you guys think of the loading game in between matches?
It's funny you should say that, Cam, because I was speaking
Squid Jump?
Yeah.
with a friend of mine today who was telling me how he kind of would start playing Squid Jump while it was loading or while he was waiting in a lobby, and then the actual game would start.
Stop, I'm playing Squid Jump.
Yeah.
Because he had got to this point in Squid Jump where he was,
That's a good point,
excited
actually.
as to what was happening.
My high score is 4,087. That was level 9, I think.
Right.
It starts off fairly simple. I found out that you can actually start charging before you land, so that helps. For those of you who don't know, Squid Jump is just a real basic game where you're a little squid and you have to jump up platforms while the water rises underneath you.
Yeah.
And then there's
It
some
doesn't look like
obstacles
water to
along
me.
the
I'll
way.
probably say like poisonous ink.
Yeah,
But yeah, exactly.
Either
right.
way, but you find some obstacles along the way. You get these little fish that boost your jump, and then you can later on at level 9, there's these like jellyfish things that if you hit, they weigh you down. You can't jump as high.
Oh wow.
So that was fun because you start shining. I'm like, oh cool, I got a power up, and I'm like, nope. It's
Honestly,
it's a power down.
for me, I'd probably rather not see this in the waiting area. I'd rather see sort of the option to change my weapon.
Yeah.
Because the only way to change your weapon now is to get out of the whole lobby and then go and change your weapon and then you're back in. So
Yeah.
I feel like, and there's actually, for the record, there's no way to exit a game once you're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless
that's
you turn your console
that's
off,
really
which
annoying.
is kind of ridiculous. So
I think this is stuff they'll patch out fairly quickly.
Are you guys finding
I
the
don't
lack
know.
of voice chats maybe a thing they could change?
That's a good point because I completely forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
The whole time me and Chris have been playing, we just voice call each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just pop my headphones into my phone and have it just sitting next to me while I play.
Yeah.
It is a much more enjoyable
Oh, yeah.
experience.
100%.
I
And
strongly...
when you and Cam, when you're going to play ranked mode with 3 other players,
I think it's
going to
make a big difference in ranked mode.
Absolutely.
Like honestly, you are going to want to have voice chat. And so look, I've had someone say to me, you know, like, I'll just FaceTime you. It's okay. It doesn't bother me that Nintendo don't have it. But I've also said, but wouldn't it be better if it was just inbuilt?
The other
Even
side
though
of the
it's
coin
not
is
as
like a
good?
lot of people have said they're just 3-minute matches. There's not much real strategy in it. Most people are working together pretty well. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's just something nice a lot of people would have, especially when ranked matches come about.
Well, that's what
with friends, I'd love to see the option included just with friends. Like I don't want to talk to some random that is probably going to yell at me.
Maybe, I know you can do it with PlayStations. You can actually set up a voice thing on the main menu.
So like a party chat. What?
Yeah,
so
party
how
chat
it
on the
works
main
on
screen, and then you
PlayStation.
can use it in-game as well.
Yes.
I know we've done that with Destiny.
We have done that with Destiny, so-
Maybe that's something they can look into, not necessarily for the game, but for on the console itself.
Yeah, certainly. I couldn't agree more. I think party chat is really important. I think for ranked mode, it's a must. I just think it needs to be included, and I do miss it because I use FaceTime or I use Skype when I play Splatoon with friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cam and I were calling each other, and it was interesting because even though the voice chat was great, I feel like if Nintendo included it, it'd kind of be lobby and match only, or maybe even lobby only. So it's like I'm enjoying speaking to Cam after matches, and then it just turns into a regular phone call, I guess.
Yeah.
We're actually just chatting. I'm going to get some new gear and stuff. So there's a plus side to it.
I wonder if they had included it, would that have affected like servers and actual connectivity? Because it could be more bandwidth being used up. It could be taking up that.
But if it did, then I think that's a serious problem because I think we talk about this game holding it to the same standard as Call of Duty, and if that was actually going to be the straw that broke the camel's back and make Nintendo have a bunch of online problems, which I don't know if it would be. I think it would be a bit embarrassing for them.
Can I, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just wanted to make a comment. Actually, you just remind me about it. Some of the social media stuff that's come out of Splatoon as well. In comparison to things like Call of Duty and Destiny and stuff. I remember Chris put up a really funny photo the other day of a couple Inkling girls giggling, saying, "Haha, he plays Call of Duty."
As if it was like a lower sort of shooting.
Like some of the other Squid stuff that's coming out online. I'm really enjoying that side of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes happening, and it's good to see the community. That's what I'm talking about. The community, really get behind the game and.
But that's the rabid Nintendo fan base that's getting behind it, is it? Like, I feel like
that's true.
I'm curious to see if this game goes outside of the rabid Nintendo.
Well, I'm not sure if you guys know, but Time Magazine gave it a 10 out of 10.
Wow!
Saying it's the best Nintendo game in years. So that's Time Magazine, So it's like that's pretty. I don't know how informed they are about the generally game because I personally don't think the game's a 10 out of 10.
No, certainly
but
not.
it's interesting to see.
But
that
I have seen traditional sort of I don't want to say anti-Nintendo outlets, but outlets that don't necessarily view Nintendo games in the same light as a AAA third-party title on a Sony or Microsoft console. Give it high praise as well. So I mean, ultimately. It has been one of the most well-received Nintendo games in a long time.
It's good.
But Yeah, but I'm still interested to see if it's actually made that transition from that hardcore. Like, this will be the hardcore Nintendo fan shooter per se, but will it be the shooter that, you know? I mean, will it be competitive? Will we be playing in Splatoon tournaments for money? I just don't know.
Will
it have an
be an esport?
Yeah.
Will it be an esport? I hate to use that term, but will it be an esport? I just don't know.
Do you guys think Mario's feeling a bit left out over in the corner there? Someone else in the spotlight?
I think it's about time now. Look, Mario's always going to be there, and like Mario Maker's coming out soon. You got Yoshi coming out, so all the main guys who are used to it, they're going to have their time. I think it's good to have something
new,
different.
Yeah, something new and different. Yeah.
Plus, Mario 64 will always be the best game of all time.
Yeah. I think it is interesting to see.
Discussion for another day.
I think it is interesting to see that there's no real mascot for Splatoon. It's just a nameless character like Boy Inkling, Girl Inkling, and the Squid.
How do you feel about that, Cam? Do you think that you would rather see them have names attached, or do you think
I
it's
like
more of
it
an
as
avatar?
it is. I think it's really cool now because it gives you more feeling like you're the one playing, and you get to customize your character. And you're not, hey, look, I'm Mario, and now I have like a blue hat. It's, hey, look, this is my guy, and I've got a cool like gas mask on now.
Yeah,
It definitely gives you more of a personal feeling.
Yeah, I do like the customization
And
personability.
I think the industry's moved on from the mascotification of video game characters and that kind of thing from the early 90s, where like every platformer had a hot mascot on it, and now it's more about the personification and more the, you know, feeling like you have an avatar in game that you can customize.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That's more in tune with what we see in games like Mass Effect, Skyrim, The Witcher. It's more in tune with that kind of thing, with that degree of customizability.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's pretty much it, I think. We
Yeah.
covered everything we wanted to talk about. Anyone else got some final thoughts on Splatoon?
We're all pretty happy with it.
I guess just summing it up with the only thing that's lacking is content, and they have announced stuff coming out, so it's just a matter of waiting and see how much they add into it.
Yeah.
But they need to hurry up.
They do.
I would love
At
to
least
see-
it's free, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I would love to see
Well, as it
new
should.
modes. I think they need a killing mode, whether it be local only. The balloon mode is okay, but I think a straight up just like Splatfest where the aim is to kill your friend, that's good. They need a local 4-player, like 2-on-2 I think would be good.
That would be cool.
1-on-1 and just some different modes online and more maps.
Sure.
I know they're trying to be their own thing, and it's great, but they do need to take a page out of Call of Duty's book, because the online experience in Call of Duty is pretty much fantastic.
Yeah.
There's so much choice there. They just need to bring a couple of them over. They don't even need to have that many, just 2 or 3 other modes that you can play online and locally, and that will really bring the game together.
Sure. Well, I think that's. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, I really hope it stands the test of time. It's great now. Everyone's loving it. Again, the DLC will offer new things as well. Let's see again in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, let's even see with this month with E3 what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Announcement.
Hopefully, it's not too close to E3 to be overshadowed and
Yeah,
other
that's
things
true.
come out of the way.
Certainly.
Cool.
Well, I guess,
Anything else, Adam, or no?
Oh, I mean, I have other stuff Nintendo related that I wanted to just briefly touch upon. I note that we had a big Pokemon announcement come out last week.
Yeah.
Not what we expected, or maybe what we expected, in that.
What are you talking about? I don't even know.
Well, all right, I'll tell you. Well, the new Mystery Dungeon game was revealed for 3DS, Super Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, okay.
There was a lot of discussion in the Pokemon community about whether or not this would be a new Pokemon game, being a new mainline Pokemon title, like X2, Y2, or even a Pokemon Z kind of thing. And it came out that this was Super Mystery Dungeon. So basically, it's my understanding, what this announcement says is that more so that they're taking an off year for a new Pokemon game, which is good.
Which, if you go back to a previous episode, you'll hear me calling this.
Yes, you did say that. I think I did agree with you at that time as well.
I think we all agree.
I think we all agreed that it was the right time for them to
Yeah.
take an off year, right? So I just thought, that it's interesting that they are taking an off year.
It seems, anyway.
Also, it seems
Yeah.
at this particular point in time. Look,
Back
it
to
would
E3.
really shocked me if we get one in October, November this year.
Yeah.
Now that they do same day releases as well, worldwide. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty big news that a mainline Pokemon title isn't coming out this year for the first time in 5 years. I mean, what's your guys' opinion on this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I saw the I haven't seen the trailer for the Super Mystery Dungeon yet, but
Well, I mean, do you play the mystery?
No,
dungeon
I don't.
games?
I don't.
No,
So it doesn't
neither do
interest
I.
me.
So that's more how I view it. Is the other side of the coin with this announcement.
yeah, well, I mean, it's great. I mean, Pokemon does need a break. I think we might get something Pokemon related at E3, but
I have a feeling we will.
But-
I wouldn't hold our breath on it just yet, Adam. I have a feeling there might be something like this year.
Yeah, if it better be Pokemon Snap Wii U.
Yeah.
I think that's a given, and I keep saying this in the podcast.
would you rather Pokemon Snap 2 for Wii U, or would you rather Pokemon MMO?
Pokemon Snap 2 for Wii U because I feel like they can do it properly, 100%.
Okay.
Whereas the Pokemon MMO is
The
such an
MMO will
ethereal thing that it's
Never happening.
that's just Nintendo doesn't have the infrastructure.
It's set almost
The
the
Wii
same
U-
way as Half-Life 3.
You look, yeah, exactly. But you look at the Wii U, you're like, why isn't there a Pokemon Snap on this thing? Like,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
snap, and they've got, it's been years. Like, they only did it with the first set of 151. Like, they could do it with so much more Pokemon in so many different habitats in HD.
And
Pokemon
DLC.
Snap was a great game, and DLC. It's
So much
it's
DLC.
asking
They love
for
DLC.
it. It's asking for it.
Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope.
I hope so.
If there was one thing I could wish for, it would be that in terms of Nintendo games.
And what are Hudson doing? Who was it that developed Pokemon Snap?
HAL Laboratories?
HAL Laboratories. What are HAL Laboratories doing at the moment?
I don't even know if they exist anymore.
Well, yeah, that's
They-
true.
they
actually.
think-
Oh, didn't they do Pikmin?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Maybe they did. Maybe we get Pokemon
Smash Bros.
Coliseum developers Genius Sonority on it. I think maybe we get them on it to give a because there hasn't been a console Pokemon game on Wii.
Coliseum or XD?
Well, no,
Battle
there was like
Revolution?
Poker Park.
Battle Revolution.
There's
The
Poker
worst
Park
game in
Wii
the
U.
world.
Pokemon Battle Revolution was the major disappointment. But I feel like a good Pokemon console game is you want to have a big tier Pokemon title this year. I'm thinking that should be
Relatively
What we
low
focus
budget
on.
as well. So.
definitely.
Cool.
I guess
Well,
that will come into the E3 predictions for next episode.
Yeah, certainly. That kind of segues into it, where we've all got a few ideas about E3 predictions and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think we all recommend Splatoon as a must buy.
Oh, absolutely.
And some of us recommend the Amiibos as a must buy as well. So,
Definitely.
if you're a collector, you want to get 3-pack.
or even if you're not a collector and you just
If you've got 4 like me,
Do
Yeah.
it. Do what I'm doing. I haven't bought the Amiibos yet and just borrowed Chris's, do the missions and then give them back to him.
So this is, I guess, the first wrap-up for the first episode is Redcoin.
yeah, rebrand.
.net, guys.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm
history in the making right here.
certainly.
First ever episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm really excited about the new name. I think Redcoin, it reflects how we are a Nintendo podcast and we have that deep reference for Nintendo games. Those 8 Redcoin missions in Super Mario 64.
Yeah. Just for clarification, the website, guys, will be all platforms. So and a podcast will remain Nintendo. So
So the website will be getting launched right after this podcast, guys. So you can all go check it out.
Right now.
Yeah, please do
Launch
jump
right
on.
now.
So yeah, double check that. It's www.redcoin.net.au. All our social links are there as well. We've got a Facebook group. We've got a Google Plus account, our YouTube account, and we're on iTunes now.
Yeah,
guys. We're on
iTunes.
iTunes.
Yes.
So head over there and subscribe. like.
And leave a review, please.
Please make sure.
Please leave a review.
We want to get the likes, the reviews, the shares out, guys. The more listening, the more we can do. So definitely head on over there. The website has heaps of articles for you to read, game reviews. The podcasts are there as well. If you're so inclined to watch YouTube videos, they're there. We have gameplay available videos as well, and we'll also be getting into Let's Plays, as we've said a few times in previous episodes.
Yep.
So really get out there and share them, and that'll be updated constantly, so there'll always be a new article for you to read.
Yeah, that's it.
And a calendar, helpful calendar for game releases.
Oh yeah, to keep up on top of what's coming out and what's next on the calendar. I guess.
Yoshi's Woolly World next, guys.
Yes, Yoshi's Woolly
So,
World.
3 weeks to go.
There is a comment section on the website, so please, guys, get your comments
Give
out
us
there.
Get
feedback.
involved.
We,
Get
Yeah.
involved.
we want feedback, and we'll do what we can to make you guys happy. So,
Tell us what you like and hate, and who you like and hate in the podcast.
Yeah.
so I guess
Be nice,
I
Aaron.
can't do the old sign out of thanks for listening too. I'm sure we'll figure out something cool to put at the end of these things now.
Thanks, guys.
Boring.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. See you later.